Imagine this. It's night. In the middle of the Himalayas, the air is freezing cold. The wind is so brutal that most people wouldn't even dare to go outside. But in that darkness, one animal is still standing, silently watching everything around it, its eyes locked into the darkness. This is exactly where the story of the Tibetan Mastiff begins. These dogs lived in the mountains of Tibet for centuries, and surviving there was never easy. There were wolves, there were bears, and snowstorms that lasted for days. But the Tibetan Mastiff never backed down, because protecting the flock was its duty. While everyone slept at night, they stood guard. Even the smallest sound could trigger an instant reaction. And then there's the appearance. With its thick fur and lion-like mane, it doesn't even look like a normal dog. Some people don't even believe it's real the first time they see it. Because when a Tibetan Mastiff looks at you, it feels like it doesn't even understand fear. But once you hear why this dog became one of the most expensive and intimidating dogs in the world, you'll see it completely differently. This is where everything changes, because the Tibetan Mastiff isn't just a giant-looking dog. This animal was truly bred for battle. When a pack of wolves approaches, the calm giant disappears and a completely different animal appears. Its muscles tighten, its stare hardens, and it steps in front of the flock. That's exactly why people respect this dog, because the Tibetan Mastiff is not a dog that backs down. Because this dog feels less like a normal dog and more like a silent creature living in the mountains. Look, people focus only on the appearance of this dog, but the Tibetan Mastiff is much deeper than the way it looks. Because this dog doesn't constantly wait for commands like a normal dog. For years, it survived in the mountains by making its own decisions. Maybe that's why some people call it stubborn, but honestly, I don't think it's stubbornness. I think it's confidence. And then there's the protective instinct. If it feels its owner or territory is threatened, it can instantly transform. And trust me, in that moment you fully understand why this dog fears no wolves. And this is where things become truly insane, because some Tibetan Mastiffs were sold for millions of dollars. Because for some people, this dog is more than an animal. It's seen as a symbol of power. Its massive body, its lion-like mane, and that slow, calm walk. It feels less like a dog walking beside you, and more like an ancient legend. But soon, you'll fully understand why this dog became an animal people both admire and fear at the same time. And now you're starting to understand why people admire this dog so much. Because the Tibetan Mastiff isn't just a giant dog, it feels like a living legend. Because for years, it survived against wolves, bears, and freezing cold. And it looks like it doesn't even understand fear. And then there's the silence. It doesn't attack without reason, but you can feel what it's capable of when necessary. But the most interesting part is this. An animal that looks this wild can be incredibly loyal to its owner, like a giant warrior turning into a silent friend. Now be honest, would you feel safer with a dog like this beside you, or would an animal this powerful scare you?